I've had it in mind to create a portrait of my mother, of whom I am both in awe and terribly afraid. I feel that the observation required for an accurate description will help to answer some of the questions I have surrounding this central figure in my life. So, one day, not too long ago, I sat recalling to myself times in which I felt my friends had not paid my mother her due respect. Remarks like, egg roll lady, crazy Asian lady, so short, and is your mom even from this planet? Come back to me. As does the memory of me apologizing to the person who'd wielded this insult for the unusual habits of my alien mother. I can safely say that among those with whom I've chosen to remain friends, outright disrespect of my mother would never wittingly occur. However, microaggression is painfully common, and so is the cowardice that comes with being so used to these cutting remarks that you let them slide. In none of these instances did I stand up for myself, much less for my mother. On that very same night, not long after these recollections had resurfaced, another instance worthy of being added to the list arose. I was camping with a good friend on family land, and we were headed to the bathroom to ready ourselves for bed. Now, when I say bathroom, what I really mean is a fancy outhouse. A horse stall converted with a dirt floor, crescent moon-shaped cut out of the whitewashed walls, the luxury of running water, and a speckled blue wash basin that served as a sink. Now, my friend and I had thrown on whatever clothing was at the top of our luggage just to go brush our teeth, and I'll admit, I wasn't looking too hot, just an oversized t-shirt and a pair of baggy sweatpants. However, my friend, who's normally a very chic and put-together Parisian girl, looked utterly out of character. Her own oversized t-shirt was stuffed beneath her cashmere sweater, giving her the bulbous physique of a snowman. Her own sweatpants sagged to be tucked into long polka dot socks, and at her feet she wore a pair of black sneakers. On our way to the outhouse, she had stepped in something foul, and the entire way there I had listened to her bemoan the stench and the loss of her shoes. When we arrived, she asked for my permission to wash her shoes in the speckled blue basin. Her attitude told me that if I denied her, she would never recover from the repulsion that was already rising in her gorge. Now, the basin served as a sink in which we brushed our teeth, washed our hands, washed our dishes, and I had even shared with my friend the memory that as a child I had been small enough to bathe in the wash bin. And although all of these activities involved the removal of grime, none of them in my mind equated to the removal of the substance that was on her shoes. However, she was a guest of mine, and in her distress, as well as in anticipation of the mood that would follow otherwise, I could not bring myself to refuse her. I was uncomfortable, but the deed was already underway. I watched, knowing that had the basin belonged to her family instead, she would have respected it enough to find another solution to her problem. I watched her stoop over awkwardly, placing one foot and then the other, barely maintaining her balance, into the soapy mixture. She began to snicker. "What is it?" I asked. "I feel like your mom," she said. I snorted lightly in recognition of her comment, but said nothing, because I knew exactly what she meant. My friend has a keen eye for the superficial, and I'd seen her take note of what she perceived to be my mother's physicality. Painful arthritic steps, grimaces, and a propensity to always be working at hard, dirty chores that no one else rises to do. Unquestionably, my friend's strange attire was equally attributing what she thought to be my mother's dress. Crinkled pants rolled up at the ankle because they're 2 sizes too big because she only buys them secondhand. Thick sweaters because her bones chill easily, and a pair of sneakers at her feet, inherited from me when I grew out of them in 8th grade and rescued from the trash. Besides, they don't make her feet hurt as much, and she's heard from heavily made-up white women on TV that the sporty look is making a comeback. As she cooks or cleans at home with old-fashioned curlers in her hair and a jade bracelet clanking against her wispy broom, my mother often tells me of the resourcefulness of the Vietnamese people, of our ability to make something out of nothing, as it seems we are always getting left with nothing. When my mother came to this country, she saved and purchased for herself a pair of fine Tiffany reading glasses. black and silver arms extended to offer frameless lenses. She'd chosen frameless because it's her impression that any kind of accessory, hat, scarf, glasses, only served to make her uglier. I had gone with her to purchase them, and the next day at school I ran around boasting of my mother's fine Tiffany reading glasses. Finally, we owned something worth bragging about. But now I know that means nothing. As years went on and my mother's eyes worsened, we could not afford to update the prescription, so she made do with the same lenses. My mother never reads much anyways because she says she's too stupid and that the words just swim off the page and out of her brain. I sat back and tried to imagine my friend's mother in the situation that her daughter was currently in. What if she had said, "I feel like my mother"? She would not have snorted. She would not have scoffed. She would not have said it at all. And she's right. It was almost impossible to picture her mother in an outhouse, with her wide owl-rimmed glasses pushed up into her chic yet practical pixie cut. The aroma of her fragrant freckled skin would mask that of the outhouse. Peppermint soap, earth, and urine. It would not mask the stink of the shoes. To shield herself from this, she would hold to her nostrils the sleeve of her cashmere turtleneck and inhale. I thought of back home in the city, of the loose trousers she wears around the house, of the fur-lined slippers into which her feet are tucked cozily. I thought of the delicate gold chain that hangs around her neck and the Buddha pendant. She says it keeps her sane. I'm pretty sure in this situation she would be going insane. No idea how to make use of limited outhouse amenities to clean the shoes. Throw them away would be her solution. I tried to imagine my own mother in this situation. Inconceivable. My mother is an alien from another planet. She does not concern herself with the issues of us mere mortals, with image, with trend, with silly fictional written stories. No wonder words swim out of her head, for her mind is an ocean, so vast and deep. I sometimes wonder why, when she shakes her head at me in disapproval, waves do not pour out of her ears. Why she never cries a drop out of that briny sea. Even without the right prescription, my mother knows exactly where to plant her feet. I could never envision her in such a clumsy position. My mother knows too well the value of a pair of shoes to ever step in shit with them.